YTBC. This is your boy Coach Shelton Harrison. And guys, this video is entitled Racial Imbalance in Boxing and in the YTBC Part 4, the Asian Extremes. I waited to do the Asian Extreme last, okay? I waited. And if you notice, I did these videos in order of who's the most racist. I really did. And this is not a knock on any Asian person that's listening to this video. It's going to be quite the opposite when you hear the end of the video. So listen to the entire video, okay? All right, y'all. I want to talk about a lot of the Asian extremes that come on YouTube and that's in boxing. There are a lot of Asian extremes. Now they're not as intense as say like the Mexicans or the whites or the blacks, but they are definitely by far the most racial group that you can find on YouTube. And I say they will say a racial comment or a racial slur, they'll say it without a second thought. And people, if you don't believe me, then you should definitely take a trip to a country in Asia. I took a trip to Beijing, China. And when I touched down, got my bags, an hour after I got my bags, I was in a fist fight. And I'm finna explain to y'all what happened. I got into a cab, and the cab driver, he point blank said, "Where you going to, my nigga?" Y'all, I'm laughing. It's not funny, but I'm laughing because when I tell y'all the story, you're gonna be like, "Yeah, that's what he said." And I said, "Man, what you just say?" He said, "Where you going to, my nigga?" That's how he said it. That's how he talked too. I said, "Hey man, you ain't gonna be sitting here calling me too many niggas." He said, "What's wrong, nigga? What's wrong?" And I said, "Okay, cool." I said, "Hey man, stop the car." He said, "You alright, nigga? Are you okay?" I said, "Stop the car." He said, "Oh, okay." So he stopped the car. I got out the car and I said, "Hey man, let me talk to you for a minute. Just step out the car." As soon as he got out the car, man, I leveled him. I punched him in the top of his head and knocked him on the ground. And then I started stomping on him like I was a wrestler in WWE. I mean, I stomped the hell out of this dude, man. I tried to stomp him into the ground. And then people came and they broke up the fight, man. And he got up. He said, "Man, what you do? What you do this to me for? I didn't do nothing to you, man." The guy was irate. And I said, "Man, you called me a nigger." I said, "That's an insult." He said, "An insult?" He said, "Man, I thought I gave you a compliment." I said, "Calling me a nigger?" I said, "That ain't no compliment." I said, "That's a butt whooping. And that's you getting your behind whooped." I said, "Calling me a nigger is not a compliment." And he said, "Well, man, that's what we see. You guys call each other nigger on TV all the time and blah, blah, blah." I said, "Man, I don't want nobody calling me no nigger." I said, "I don't want you calling me a nigger." This guy completely, y'all, he didn't know that was an insult. He was oblivious. He was completely oblivious, man, that he was insulting me, y'all. And people, I kid y'all not, okay? I kid y'all not. I kid y'all not. He honestly and truthfully, I believed him. He really didn't know that he was insulting me. Like he had this dumb look on his face, like, "Man, what did I do? What did I do?" And he said, "Look, man, I apologize." He said, "Listen, man, here's my phone number." He said, "Man, just get me on the phone, and as long as you're here in Beijing," he said, I'll drive you around wherever you want to go for free, and I won't charge you." And he did. He did. He obligated. And we hung out a lot, man. We were real cool. I mean, after a while, he took me took me to his house, man. And I met his wife and I met his family. I had dinner with him. But it was a complete misunderstanding. It was. I mean, he really thought that he was giving me a compliment, man. I was pissed. I was real mad. But man, it just kind of goes to show, man, too, that sometimes too, man, you can break through, just racial barriers with people, man, because sometimes when people are just racist, man, and you know that they're racist against you, see, sometimes they kind of have to stop in their tracks because if you are different and if you, I guess, hold a little bit more pride, then they have to respect your pride. And that's what he did. He respected my pride as a black man. Man, that's wrong. And I guarantee you, he won't call nobody else a nigger. He won't call another black person a nigger. But I'm going to tell you how racial it really got, man, in China. I was at a fight. And see, Chinese and Asian people, they don't just see, it's not just Asians they call blacks niggers, man. Look, they dish it out to everybody. They dish it out to whites. They dish it out to Hispanics. they dish out the racial comments to every race. And I'm not, see, listen to the rest of the video, Asians, before you get mad, okay? And they're a proud race of people. They're proud, man. They're real proud, and they will support each other. I don't care what that person can lie, that person can steal, that person can go and shoot up somewhere. They're gonna support each other, man. And it's like, when I went to this cab driver, when I went to his house, man, like he was over there, man. There was some other kids over there, and this dude over there beating the hell out of this kid. That's not his kid. Like Chinese people, they'll take somebody else's child and they'll beat them. They'll give them a spanking, man. Like they take the terminology, it takes a village. They take that to the extreme, cause they will whoop somebody else's child behind. They'll whoop them, man, like that, like it's their child. They'll beat them, man. They see them doing something stupid. The neighbors over there, man. The neighbors in China, they don't let the kids do dumb stuff, man. They pull them aside, and they beat the hell out of them. I seen it happen many times. And I was like, man, what's going on? He said, oh, man, that's my neighbor's son. And I said, man, you just beat the hell out of him. He said, yeah, I told him not to steal. And I told him if he take again, I'm going to beat him. And he beat him. He point blank beat him. And mom come over there and said, well, why is he crying? And it's like, oh, he got a whooping. What did he do? Steal. And then, the mom go over there and beat him again. That's how they do, man. That's what they do over there, man. And you can see why, man, people over there don't want to commit a lot of crimes. Like, the crime rate really and truly is not as high as it is over here in the state. That was my experience, what I experienced. But anyway, getting back to it, let's talk about boxing. I was at a fight. I went over there, and I'll never forget that I was sitting there and I was watching a fight. Me and a buddy of mine, we was in China. We were watching a fight, and the Asian guy was losing. The Asian guy was losing. He was fighting this guy from Britain, and they were hurling a lot of racial slurs at this British guy. Man, they was calling him honky. One guy called him honky tonk man. Another guy called him a cracker. I mean, they were just sitting there hurling every single racial slur at this guy that you can think of, man. And point blank, they didn't look at the fact that this guy was a brilliant fighter, man. All they were just calling him all these names, picking on him, throwing stuff in the ring. I'm sitting there thinking, God, dog, man, but Asians don't care, man. They just say what they gonna say and they keep it moving. They don't care if you like it. They don't care if they hurt your feelings. They gonna say what they say, and then that's just the way that is. Now, when I was over there, it was intriguing, man, because I watched a TV show. I was in my hotel room and I was watching the show. And there was an Asian guy who they put paint on his face to make him look like a black person, and then they gave him these pink lips. And he was mocking black people. They were mocking blacks, and I'm like, you know what? But then the program didn't stop at blacks. They started mocking whites. They started mocking Hispanics. They had a guy dress up like a Hispanic guy. They had a guy dress up like a redneck. And they was mocking all these races. I'm sorry, y'all. And if you're an Asian person, and if you're really, truly, just saying, man, that's not true. I'm saying when I went over to China, this is my experience when I was over there. Okay, these are things that I experienced, and I have to say by far out of all the races that I talked about in these series, I think the Asian race, man, good grief, man, they by far probably are the most ignorant when it comes to like racial insults. They ignorant, and they're by far the most racial people that I've ever encountered. Okay, but now on the flip side, I got to be fair and balanced. Because if Asian folks are the most racially, they're the most racially picked on. And, there's a guy that works for me, cool dude, real cool. We talk, man, we laugh every day. And, he pure bona fide, he from China. And, he came into my room and he was just saying, man, what's up, coach? How you doing? And, hey, man, let's go have lunch, man, this weekend. Let's have lunch Friday. And I'm like, cool. And so this lady, she comes by, this white lady, she goes, oh, where y'all going? Y'all going to go eat some rice? And she started laughing. And I said, you idiot, he don't even like rice. I said, he don't even eat rice. He can't stand rice. He never liked rice. All Asian people don't like rice, you jackass. It's what I told her. And I wasn't trying to play like a hero. It's just, I don't like ignorant racial comments from anybody. I just can't stand it. I can't get with that. If you're going to tell me something that's true, tell me something that's true. Okay? But being ignorant and being stereotypical, that ain't never true. That's just stupidity. That's stupidity. Okay? They don't even lie, They don't even lie, Yeah, but, that's what she said. That's what she said to him about him, Or they'll make little comments, man, when a dude walk by. They be snickering or saying he going to watch a bunch of Jackie Chan movies. They be saying dumb, stupid stuff like that. But now if he would have come back and called them a bunch of white idiots and this and that, you know what? They be getting all mad and they be trying to get him for racism and all that stuff. But they said this guy every day is the constant victim of abuse, man, by people that work in there. And not only do he get it from whites, he get it from blacks, he get it from Hispanics, he get it from every other race in there. So I can see why sometimes Asians would get upset, man, and use racial slurs because they the most racially picked on race that I've ever met. When they come to America, they racially picked on, man. And it's not even funny. Even kids, man, even some of the kids, Asian kids, they get picked on by other kids, man, making these racial comments. And they be dumb comments. Now, I'm going to tell you, my first video that I dropped about Manny Pacquiao, Asians, they support Manny Pacquiao, okay? When I was in China, there was Manny Pacquiao billboards over there. And Manny Pacquiao's Filipino, but they treat Manny Pacquiao like he one of their own. And let me tell you something. First video I made about Manny Pacquiao, I had about 100 subs, and I'll never forget. I had about 20 comments that was blocked by YouTube. And I looked at them comments. All of them comments began with the N-word. It began with nigger. Every last comment, it was from an Asian person, and they was calling me nigger and all this other stuff, and, just flomos. And, man, they were calling me everything under God's hot sun. Now my channel is over 500 subs, and when I say something about Manny Pacquiao, instead of getting about 20 racial comments, man, I can get anywhere from the excess of 50 to 75. It just depends on how many more people I done pissed off that day. And I do piss off people when I talk about Triple G, and I piss off people when I talk about Pacquiao. I piss them off. But, man, the racial comments from the Asian population is extreme. It's very extreme. And they'll just go right into it. They ain't even trying to argue with you. They just going right in and calling you a dumb whatever race you are. They going to call you that. And that's just the way that is. It's just the way that is. Okay? And it happens more so in the YTBC. It happens a lot in the YTBC. Happens a lot. And even when Guillermo Rigondeaux, when he was fighting Amagasa, in that fight, when Guillermo Rigondeaux would do something spectacular, they really wasn't trying to cheer him on, man. But when Amagasa landed some good blows, and Amagasa was doing like minimal stuff, man, before he knocked him down, man, they were jumping and screaming, man. They were crazy, man. It was crazy. And they were supporting Amagasa. Like Rigo started beating up Amagasa. Hey, man, they wasn't cheering for Rigo, man. They started chanting, they started chanting out Amagasa's name, man. They want Amagasa to whoop Rigo tail, man. That's what was happening, man. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But, now rarely Asians don't come out. They don't come out unless you say something about an Asian fighter. They're not supporting no other fighters, man. They might like to watch other fights, but if the fighter not Asian, you can forget it. They ain't making no comments on the video. The only comments I ever get from Asian people is when I make a video about an Asian fighter. And the only Asian fighter that I've ever made a video about is Manny Pacquiao. Okay? I remember I did like a thing on track and field, and I talked about the Asian hurdler. Oh man, he was a big deal. Lu Zhong, oh, he was a big deal in China, man. You go over there, you couldn't see a billboard without his face on it. And I said, that dude doping. And I said it in a video. A long time, one of the first videos I made one about track and field. I said he doping. And man, you would think, man, that I done took the wool from under these people's eyes, man, or I done took their money, because, man, they were mad. They were calling me all kind of nigger under God's hot sun. Guys, I can't make this stuff up. But, I do in a way, though, man, I kind of feel bad for Asians because they are picked on so much, man. And after a while, if you get picked on, man, you're going to do whatever you can do to retaliate. And that's just the way that is. But this is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done. Subscribe.